Hello, Miss Erica.
Hello.
Thank you so much for being here and doing this with me.
Absolutely. My pleasure.
So, really quickly, tell the people your name and your business and what you guys do in your business.
My name is Erica McClaskey, and our business is Lickety Split Logistics, and we specialize in reverse logistics. So kind of sounds mysterious, but it's really um, it's pretty simple. We pick up returns.
Amazing. Cool. And I love that the word logistics is in the title of your business.
So do people know what it is?
Yeah, it just makes my like nerdy heart happy. I'm like, yes,
Oh, yeah.
like it.
We pay attention to details and solve problems.
Yeah, it's amazing and a much needed service. Um, okay. And do you remember back when you joined the Gab Accelerator? What was going on? What was your challenge? Why you joined?
Yes, I remember knowing something was wrong and feeling a little stress bubble and buzz around me of something's off, something's not in balance. I had spoken to you a couple times and we had talked, and I knew from our conversations that you could see how you could help me, but also probably what was wrong, but you didn't overwhelm me with telling me a bunch of stuff. I just, you opened the door like, hey, I've got this program and it could really help. And when we first started, the prep for the program was the vision work. And that for me was so effective and just a really important moment to stop, take a time out. You were asking us to really, deeply think or meditate or reflect on ourselves, what we want to be feeling in our lives and in our business. There were so many interesting questions. It wasn't just how much do you want to earn and how many employees do you want? It wasn't that kind of thing. It was just more open. And so it was this really nice invitation to just reflect on where things were. And just by taking the time to do that in itself was just a really great step in the right direction of, okay, let me just take myself as the most important thing right now and focus on that. And from there, look at everything through that lens. So that's
Yeah.
kind of how I started.
Yeah. Um, I always ask, this is the point in the recording where I ask people, what was your experience and what surprised you and what was your aha moment? But I actually love your journey specifically so much because you had several aha moments at different times. And I rem I weirdly remember when people where people had their breakthroughs. But what are the things that stand out to you the most about the program? Like what surprised you?
Um, what surprised me was I don't know how it works. I mean, I know intellectually what you were saying and I was understanding it, but there's some kind of magic momentum that was happening inside of it. So I didn't really know how that was happening, but I remember one day that really got me was just letting all the information just process, and we're going from thing to thing. But then on our lunch break, I had all this energy and all this just kind of like momentum. And I got up on the lunch break and I sent this email that I needed to send for so long. And I was so procrastinating. And then I did this other, you know, really important shift that we needed to make with separating some people and some things in our business that I was procrastinating. And I did it on the lunch break and it felt so good. And I was like, you didn't say specifically to do that. We weren't talking specifically about that, but it was just being in that environment with like-minded people and just focusing on the right things. It kind of uh, stuck me and I was able to move forward. It was like flushing out the system. So that was really good for me, that moment, because I was so scared to do it and I
Mhm.
didn't feel scared in that moment. And I was like, I can do this. Blah, blah, blah. And I wasn't afraid of um, the worst case scenario, which didn't happen, by the way. It was totally fine. So that was one.
Okay.
What were the other ones you're thinking of?
I remember that.
Okay.
I remember that you said something really important in the vision session,
Oh,
which
yeah,
you
duh.
said, I'm in a room with some people who have like really huge financial visions, and I feel like my vision isn't that big. Do you
Oh,
remember that?
oh
And I
yeah.
was like, well, what's your vision? What do you want? And you shared, and I was like, that's very big.
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. That's right. That's right. And you also, but the fact that you also said that though, it um not reinforced, but it
Validated?
validated validated that it was big.
Yeah.
Because when you're blending your identity as a mom with your identity as a business owner, there's this tendency not only from within but from outside to minimize all of the importance of the mom side. Like, oh, that's just what you're expected to do. Oh, that's just comes with that's all the extra stuff you do after work. But then when we were talking about designing the day around my family needs and being able to, run the business, that is huge. And I hadn't thought of it like that. So
Yeah.
that was very important.
Yeah. Yeah. I think for context for the people,
Yes.
um, we sometimes think that a big vision is a number, that it has
Yes.
to be a specific number. It has to be 7 figures this year or 7 figures by next year. And that's the big vision. But something that we talked about, thanks to you for bringing it up, was a big vision can be a really healthy revenue and actually working part-time in your business. Because what job would let you make good money and work part-time and organize your day around wanting to be in your child's life?
Right.
So that's actually a huge vision. It's not just about numbers, but
Mhm.
your business vision, it's a huge deal to be an entrepreneur and work less hours so that you can actually do your other job that you love, which is being a mom.
That's
And it's
right.
also how you impact the world.
That's
So
right.
that was very powerful. And I think there were people in the room who appreciated you bringing that up because it opened up that conversation of what is a big vision in the first place.
Yes, and it does validate, like everything you just said really validates because again, it's that thing of like, well, is this okay that I'm doing it this way? Because does that mean I'm just half a business or half a I'm I don't care that the number is not so big, does that make me less of a driven person? But
Right.
it was
I
just
think it's very driven to want to have a healthy business and have a life and enjoy your family.
thanks.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's
Do
where we got.
you do you remember any other like big breakthrough aha moments? Because I remember other
Yeah,
ones.
I remember. I think you mean the one with my homework assignment of
Which
the one, see that, wow, there was a lot. So,
a lot. You had a lot of breakthroughs. That's why I really wanted to talk to you because I'm like, you just have such a great story.
oh, what about when I said I need to fire my husband?
Yeah, but like, how did we even get there? I have to lay up the story. I have to lay up the story because
Go
you're
for it.
like
Yeah.
laying it down.
Okay.
Erica came in thinking, I'm not good at business. And I
Right.
just help my husband with the business. And I don't really understand the stuff. I just try to be as helpful as possible. And in a very short amount of time, she was like, oh, I get this stuff now. I'm the CEO. I'm actually better at a lot of this stuff. And ultimately, somehow we landed on, I want to fire him. So you started in this place of like, I'm not even sure I should do your program because I don't really understand this stuff and I'm not good at business and I'm not
That's right.
with the numbers. And I was like, that's exactly why you do this program.
That's
Like,
right.
right. And then like somehow in the journey one day, you came with like, I want to like fire my husband. I was like, who are you? What happened? What? Like that is the best transformation I could ever dream for because like the Erica that came in the door was not the Erica that walked out the door.
Yes. And part of that was said affectionately that I want to fire him, meaning I want to push push a lot of the responsibility off of him and take it on because feel confident now that I can take it on. And also he was a willing participant in that.
Yeah.
He's like, yeah, he's like, go for it, fire me. Like he's okay with it. He's not feeling like it's
Yeah.
affecting his ego at all.
No.
So, but that was a huge transformation. And that I have to say, credit to your program. It's like you hold the hands of everyone in it and you walk forward, and there's a lot of space inside of it just to discover. So you're not saying at this point you should be feeling this or thinking this, or there was just a lot of openness to say something crazy like that. And it was okay. It was a safe environment, but also challenging. So I could say that and you guys weren't like, I mean, I think you guys would have said if it sounded really off base,
Yeah.
but
Yeah. But yeah.
it's
But
also a great, yeah.
I just loved that moment. I had such a laugh. And I think other people in the room were kind of like, why is she so shocked that Erica's saying that? Like everyone was like, yeah, that makes sense. And I'm like, no, 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 you don't understand. Because I am with everybody from sales call. I hear all the doubts and the objections and the struggles and the challenges. So I see you before the other people in the group see you, right? And so for me, I'm like just a week ago, this person had a lot of doubts in her ability. And now she's like, oh, I got this. I can take on more. I can do this. I am a partner in this business.
Right.
So yeah.
Right. And I remember one time saying something like, oh, this is a man's world, the world I'm in. And you or
Yes.
someone else was like, yeah, every one of all these worlds. What are you talking about? And I was like, oh, I thought I was special. But no, I mean, like when you're like a little stuck in a victim place, but it's just like, I don't know. I don't know. It was very empowering all around and continues to be. I
Yeah.
feel like there's definitely layers and layers and layers.
Yeah. Awesome. What I think that was probably your, like, for me, a big transformation that happened within that first container. That's a short amount of time and that was powerful. Do you have any other like big results or takeaways that you want to
Yeah, there was one
share?
time also we were doing mindset. Oh, this was actually after. This was
Well,
Gab.
yes. For context, Erica has continued with us and she's inside Gab CEO, which is our advanced program where we continue to really up level tier 2 systems and also address your CEO mind and leadership mind. But you can share what happened in mindset.
Oh,
Absolutely.
okay. It was just that I remember that I had internalized something. We were talking about like the inner voice that talks to you, like inner critic type voice. And it was like the voice was saying, oh, that person's smarter than you. Yeah. Or he's smarter than you. And it wasn't my husband, by the way, it was someone else, but that person's smarter than you. So, and then we worked through it and I did my process that got me to the point that I was like remembering all of the times that I have been smart. So that was very helpful. I have that with me now as well. So when I'm talking to people, I don't feel like I give away my power and go, oh my God, they're smarter. You know,
Mhm.
I mean, sometimes you get baffled with things people say, but you don't have to go right to that place.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, absolutely. And if someone were considering joining a Gab Accelerator, or they're Gab curious, or they're on the fence, what would you what would you say to them?
I would say be curious. I would say that you have nothing to lose, you have a lot to gain, and that what I really enjoyed about the program at the time was that we started with like high energy music, like the atmosphere was like not what it was not boring at all, first of all. Um, we had like this feeling of like energy, there was a lot of energy and also this feeling of humor built into it. And I remember in my feedback, I said it's like looking under the hood of your car, but it's also like looking in the mirror at yourself. So you're kind of like, you're looking at all those little things, technical things, but you're also looking at an image of something and you're taking a step back and you're really seeing. So there's so much in there for everyone, any kind of personality or any kind of like I don't know, just, it doesn't matter what your business is. You
Mhm.
could have a tire changing business or you could run a financial firm. I mean, it doesn't matter. I
Yeah.
think that the concepts are very flushed out, very clear that anyone can access. So I think if you're Gab curious, check it out, find out for yourself. And what's really neat is that because I feel like the program's flexible and I mean I feel like you're very responsive to the people that are in the program, the
Mm.
people that are there in front of you. So I could see how like everyone is getting that feeling of being seen. You're not just like a number inside of a thing where you're going through some steps and everyone has to be the same. It's like, it's neat. And it's neat that you get to meet other people too while you're going through it. And that's part of the power of it, that you hear other people's shares and you get to sit back and listen while they're kind of learning themselves or walking through something so that you can internalize what they're saying and not be defensive because you're not really in the hot seat, but it's just a nice environment as a whole. So I would say, go for it. Gab it up.
Gab it up. Gab it up. Yeah,
Gab it
I
up.
appreciate that. Thank you. I know I always really insist and try to create early on a culture of asking questions and not being afraid to be dumb or sound dumb or look dumb, because there's no dumb question. Because there's always somebody at one point who goes, maybe this is a dumb question. And I'm like, you win the prize. You're the first person to say it. I have a few moments like that where I'm waiting for a person to say some key things and I like celebrate them when those moments happen. But every simple, easy question that seems dumb or seems obvious always ends up being a gold mine for the other people in the room as well.
Yeah.
So it's true, like the systems are the same, the mechanism of building a business and optimizing a business for growth is the same, but the richness from people's different scenarios and questions that they bring to the table is what makes every group, like I literally teach the same thing every time, but it's the
Yeah.
different people and the different businesses that make it juicy and fun for me and keeps me on my toes. And that's
Yes.
why I like to do it live, because I feel like people deserve to have that experience and they deserve to have the live hot seat opportunity, live coaching, right?
Yeah.
Um, so
Yeah.
yeah, I
And
appreciate
you
you
make
bringing.
it okay to ask you questions too. So people feel in the moment that they can ask you questions in front of everyone and yeah, and like real burning questions, problems, not just like solve my business questions, but just, well, I don't agree with that, but I don't see it that way or whatever. And that dialogue is more rich, it's more meaningful. It's not just like you're reading out of a textbook or something. Like this is
Yeah,
how you do it.
yeah,
It's unique to everyone, but like you said, the concepts are all the same.
yeah. Well, thank you.
You
Thanks
are
for
welcome. You're so welcome.
being willing to go a little bit into history with me and remember and pull those things out and letting me pull those things out. I really, really, I think you were very gracious at the beginning of this interview saying that like, oh, whatever. Like I really like elbowed you to come. I was like, just come, trust me, you'll do this. And you were very gracious about it, but it was such a pleasure to watch your journey and watch your growth and really watch your transformation in such a short period of time. And it makes me really excited for the business that you're building that supports your family. And I just think that's what business is all about. And sometimes we forget that. And that's like what I'm passionate about is people who are running their businesses, not for vanity, not for more likes, not for a certain number, but because it's like, oh yeah, this is what I do. I don't want to be an employee. I want this to feed my family. And I love helping people who are doing that. So it was a pleasure.
Yes, and I thought of one PS.
Okay.
PS, during Gab Accelerator, I had the thought to move my desk. I work from home and to move my desk into a more peaceful environment.
That's right.
And let me tell you, I would not have done that it was just being in that situation. I just had all these little light bulbs going off and all these aha moments. And that was a big one for me too, was moving my desk.
Yeah, because you're starting to honor your role in the business.
Yes.
Yeah,
Yep. So
I love it. Awesome. Well, thank you so much. Thanks for
you're
doing this.
so welcome. Thank you.
And I will see you soon and talk to you soon, I hope.
You will.